I love running into him, love talking with him. He's a legendary Today Show weatherman, actor, best-selling author, and he was once known as the jolly overweight weatherman. But my goodness, he's transformed his physical appearance and is now enjoying a slimmer and a healthier lifestyle. He talks about it in his weight loss journey in his brand new book. And folks, you got to get a copy of this book because the title alone, Never Going Back. Never Going Back. Winning the weight loss battle for good, baby. Let's find out more about this brand new book. Please welcome to the show for the first time, my buddy, Mr. Al Roker.
Wow.
Welcome.
Steve,
Hey,
you know
guys.
everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah, I know him good, too.
Everybody. Al,
Al,
Roker.
how you doing, man?
Doing great, just hanging out. I'm actually in Chicago. Going to be doing Steve's show later today, so I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, that's going to be happening.
Just kind of hanging out.
And, man, I can't wait to have you as a guest. I'm glad to have this first time on the radio show. This is pretty good for us, man. Thank you for joining.
Welcome.
Hey, I'm happy to be here, believe me. Although, when you get to this age, you're happy to be anywhere.
Well, you got a new book, man. It's called Never Going Back, Winning the Weight Loss Battle for Good. Tell us about the book and what was the inspiration behind it.
Well, the inspiration, my dad, who's a pretty healthy guy, and this goes back. We're going back almost 12 years. 35 years before that, he had decided to quit smoking. And he was always in great shape. And then one day, in a checkup, he discovered he had lung cancer, and pretty quickly he went downhill. And I would go see him every morning before I'd go to the Today Show. And at one point, he said, "Look, I'm okay with everything." Before I go, but the one thing I'm worried about is you. We both know I'm not going to be here to help raise my grandchildren. So I need to know that you are going to finally get your act together and lose weight. And we kind of went around the block about it, and he said, "Listen, I need you to swear to God to me right now that you're going to lose weight." And so I did. And he passed about 8 days later. And I waited. I had done some research and decided to go with the gastric bypass because I had done everything I could to lose weight. I mean, every diet known to man. And then finally, I did this, and I went from 340 to 200 pounds, kept that off. But then my mom got sick, and I started, going back to my old habits. And then, people don't realize you can eat through a gastric bypass. You can defeat it. And I gained 40 of that 140 back. And I said, and then my mom passed. And I said, I lost my mother. I lost my dad. I'm not losing this battle. I have control over this. And so I changed how I eat. I changed what I do for working out. And, that was almost 5 years ago. I basically stayed between 200 and 205 pounds now, and I've never felt better.
Claimed it.
Wow.
Claimed
I'll
it.
tell you, man, and you look great, too, because you've been in this weight loss battle since you were a child.
I used to go. I used to go shopping at the Husky department, at Montgomery Ward's.
Wow.
Like they were going to strap you to a dog sled. I was Husky,
Hey man, how did that impact your self-image?
Well,
as a child?
it was one of those things where it was this catch-22, this cycle that just kept going because you don't feel very good about yourself. Well, you don't feel good. What do? You go to everybody has a different drug of choice. Mine was food. I would feel better, while I was eating the food. Then after you're done, you're disgusted with yourself, and it doesn't end. Look, I was a sophomore in high school. I'm black, I'm fat, and my first name is Albert. I don't need to tell you what cartoon.
Oh, wow, you got it.
Hey.
Yeah. It had to be tough, man. And you know what, man? You did this weight loss on the Today Show in front of a national audience, man. I mean, you went through this whole process. What was that like for you, Al?
Well, it's funny. I didn't think it all the way through because I didn't tell anybody. My wife knew, and my producer and a crew that shot it because I was worried that if anything happened to me, I wanted my kids to have a record of what I did to try to do this. So I didn't tell anybody, and I didn't tell my mom. Just kept it a complete secret, and I didn't think it all the way through because I I knew intellectually that I was going to lose a lot of weight, but emotionally I wasn't ready for it. And so when I started dropping weight rapidly, and people started going, "Is Al Roker okay? Is something wrong with Al Roker?"
Yeah.
It was, I mean, I basically had to come clean because the National Enquirer was going to out me on it. They got a hold of the source who was there and was going to say that I had the bypass. So I had to let all my family and friends know pretty quickly. But it was one of those things where, if I had to do it again, I would. But that said, I don't recommend the bypass to people. I've turned down like six-figure paychecks to represent these organizations because you know what? It's really a dangerous operation. One in 200 people, at least 1 in 200 people a year die from this thing. From complications from it. Your body's forever altered. You have to take multivitamins for the rest of your life because your body can't process or get the nutrients it needs out of food because it moves through your body so fast. And there's all kinds of stuff. So when people say, "Oh, you cheated," this was not the easy way out. But the bottom line is, anybody who suffered from a weight problem knows how to lose weight. We all know how to lose weight. It's keeping the weight off.
Yeah,
that's
it.
Hey, Al, let me ask you, man. With all that you've said, though, with the knowing the risk and not willing to recommend it, do you feel better about the whole process?
I do. Look, if you ask me would I do it again, I would in a heartbeat because that's for me. The idea of the book of Never Going Back is not so much, okay, here, follow everything I did. But it's like, here's the motivation, and here are the motivations, because no matter how you choose to get on this journey, I think there are some commonalities, some common threads for people, and even for the people, you don't even have to. If you're somebody who cares about somebody who has a weight problem, I think you ought to read this because I have advice for you folks, which is basically shut up, stop
because.
nagging.
Hey, man,
because guess what? We know we're fat. We don't need you telling us.
Okay.
At the end of the day, everybody who suffers from this issue, who has an issue with their weight, they have to come to grips with it. They have to realize that they are important enough, and they have to put themselves first, and they have to be selfish about it. That your workout, your exercise routine needs to take precedence over other things. One of the first things we do, I know I did it. Whenever I had something that got in the way of my workout, I always cancel the workout.
Absolutely.
And you can't do that. You just can't do it.
Yeah, man, you got to work around. I like it. Hey, look, in the back of the book, you've even got recipes, folks. I think this book right here, man, is something for everybody. It's not about the surgery. It's about making the decision. It's about making the commitment. It's about winning at the weight loss battle for good. And whatever decision, whatever route you take, that's fine with him. I think the book is talking about the inspiration behind it and finding the motivation and how to stick to it. And then the helpful recipes in the back, they make a lot of sense to me. Al, I love the book, man.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it.
I think you're great, man. And I'll probably see you this weekend, I think.
You got it.
Yeah. Hey, folks, New York Times bestselling author Al Roker, he's got a book out. It's called Never Going Back, Winning the Weight Loss Battle for Good. This is a timely part of the year to pick this book up, folks, so we're recommending it. Al Roker, Never Going Back. Al, thanks for calling, man.
All right, Steve. Take care.
We'll see you, partner.
Bye-bye.
Yes, sir.
He seems like such a nice guy.
He is. He's a nice guy.
I love him.
Genuinely
Keeping it down.
A really, really nice person.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.